So let's do this. We're gonna play some Link's Awakening DX here. I'm joined by Phantom Matt.
Hello.
Good morning, or rather good evening.
Nah, it's 2:41. It's the dark hour.
The dark hour on the West Coast. Yeah, but it's a beautiful day in Europe here. Beautiful spring day in South Germany. Yeah, we're gonna be commentating our buddy Sàgaz. He's gonna be running Link's Awakening DX, the any percent no scoop category.
We might say that this is it still our most popular category, or more people running Hundo now?
I think you can say that. Yeah, like it has ups and downs, but it's like the main category. Also, if you're looking on the leaderboards, and we're gonna look into like a rather glitchy playthrough of the game without glitches that are breaking the game entirely, because if we're comparing it to the any percent category, which finishes the game in under 3 minutes, this is going to be like a little more familiar to your casual playthrough experience.
We did also meet the incentive to show off a little something after the run is done, so we'll get to show you some of those game-breaking glitchy things later.
Alright, so we're ready to begin. Do you want to do a countdown vocally while I do it in type?
You go ahead.
I was about to say you have the better voice, if you insist.
I do.
Alright. So, on your mark, just let me know when you're ready.
We're ready.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, but I'm not right.
Alrighty, here we go. So you wake up in some house, like in the intro you have been seeing. Link was like on some journey with his ship. He got into a storm, stranded at a beach, and that is Koholland Island, and he was picked up by that beautiful woman right to the bed, right off the bed, and we wake up, we walk to that other guy, Taran, and he gives us the shield because it has our name on it. For whatever reason, he doesn't know anything about us, but he knows our name.
Creepy. You know, I find it also funny. He found our shield next to us. He didn't bother walking like 5 feet to go find the sword that was with us too, that had our name engraved on it, along with the shield.
Yeah, he was lazy.
First of the little tricks we're doing is Sàgaz just damage boost off that spiny in order to hop over and grab the sword before the owl started talking, which we hate the owl. Let's be honest. Everyone hates owls in every single Zelda game. And that saves him like, what, half a second?
Yeah, like the thing we call quick sword is just where you pick up the sword before the text appears of a cutscene, and also boosting into that cutscene probably saves another half second. So it's like some small optimizations there. That has been occurring since I started the game 2 years ago.
And for those of you who are talking about owl puts you to sleep and all that jazz, don't worry, we'll have some nice things for you later. Hopefully, if he decides to do them.
Yeah. Yeah, so like we maybe should a little bit talk about the category for those who are not familiar with what we call any percent no scoop, which is like short for any percent no save and quit, no wrong warp, no out of bounds. So no save and quit is like kind of in A Link to the Past. Well, it's pretty simple. You're not allowed to save and quit to backtrack to entrances of dungeons or caves or whatever. No wrong warp means you are only allowed to do screen transitions that lead to the developer intended next screen. And out of bound is a little finicky because we have like a little peculiar definition of our out of bound rules. So basically you're not allowed to walk on ceilings. That's about it.
It's any place that you're not supposed to be able to get to normally, right?
Something like that. Yeah, it's a little more technical, but that's about it. Should be fine for now. Like,
right.
If you're really interested into that, you can look it up on the speedrun.com page.
We see Sàgaz setting up and completing Moblin Skip on the first try. So essentially what he does there is he uses the Moblin to damage boost across the across the pit there in order to skip having to go to the witch, go get powder, and go free Terran from becoming a raccoon because he was wandering around in the forest.
And he also
saving
managed to
plenty of
get
time.
and he also managed to get a pretty cool pause buffer there, opening the chest with a tail key, the dungeon 1 key in it. That also saves like a 5 to 6 second cutscene because you're able to leave the screen before the owl text appears. So
We don't have no time to wait for that owl. Now,
yeah,
for those of you who were watching our last run, you noticed that we were gathering up all the rupees that we possibly could. We don't need rupees in this game. They're useless to us. We could just steal whatever we want.
Yeah, it's actually an intended part of the game. So the shopkeeper kills us then, and after that our name is Thief. It's in Japanese though, so I really don't care too much.
I mean, does anybody care to go to the photo shop in No Scoop? We don't have time. This thing that it allows him to do, though, is it allows him to get the bow really early, which makes him ridiculously overpowered for certain things. A lot of the mini-bosses, and I don't think you use it for any bosses.
Yeah.
but
Also,
it
like
allows
a really
him to
good
kill
shopkeeper RNG that was really good. Like,
yeah, he was in and out of there really fast.
really good.
But
pace.
it allows him to kill mini-bosses and other enemies really quick.
Yeah. What you're seeing here, he picked up the mushroom earlier, and this is the reason why. If you're standing over pits, you're not dropping immediately into the pit. You kind of like wiggle around a little bit before you get sucked in, and you use those frames to activate the mushroom, which like activates the cutscene, like the sort of animation where Link holds up the mushroom that lets you hover over some pits here. So that's like going to be used in another trick coming up shortly.
I also want to take the time to point out something that somebody said in chat. The rod and the boomerang are even better than the arrows. You're not going to see the boomerang in this. We don't believe in finishing the trading sequence at all. It takes too much time. We'll probably get more into how we can do that later when we get to the egg.
Yeah, and in Dungeon 1, it's kind of straightforward. He was actually also doing like some rather slower strats to kill both enemies here, because he's already started to do something we call piece of power routing, where you increment your kill count and make a power up dropping later at some specific point, which is called the piece of power. We want that to have in dungeons, especially long dungeons, because it boosts your movement speed by 25%, and you get double damage boost for your sword and a knockback effect.
So we saw Sàgaz pick up the Rock's Feather, which I don't think they intended for it to be able to break the game that much, but we find ways. You see Sàgaz right here using the mushroom and the feather to clip into the wall, which basically means we're going inside the wall, and whenever you push against the wall and then jump away from it, using a pretty exact controls, you manage to jump as if you were falling off a ledge away from the wall, giving you lots of height.
Yeah, like it's really interesting, the technical explanation to that trick we call super jumping. Here you saw it again, made him jump over these blocks there before the mini boss. And what the developers did, like the tiles inside dungeons are actually the same tiles which are used for ledges where you can drop down. So if you're standing inside the wall, which is something we call wall clipping, and you jump off that wall, the game actually thinks you're dropping down a ledge, and that gives you like a boost into a higher layer. So the game thinks you're standing in a higher layer and you're dropping down that layer, so that lets you boost off that layer, and that is like the mechanic behind super jumping.
Yeah, so we see him picking up his first instrument here, and he is out of D1. Unfortunately, we have to talk to the owl again.
Yeah, we sadly can't.
May he burn for stalling us.
Yeah, can't make that owl go away.
So, as soon as he gets into the village here, he's going to have two kids run at him and give him a nice long... No, not nice long wall of text, because this is Japanese. We could just skip over the text after the first text box. They're essentially saying, oh no, moblins have come, and they've kidnapped Madame Meow Meow's pet Bow Wow, who is literally a eldritch god in this game. Because he has the ability to eat lots of things that he's not supposed to be able to eat. We're gonna go rescue him now, and then we're gonna keep him for the rest of the game. She's never gonna see her pet again.
Yeah, we found, like, in the casual playthrough, you have to bring back Bow Wow so you can continue into Camelot Castle before Dungeon 3. But we found a trick to avoid that side quest. And since, like, this is the upcoming dungeon is the only dungeon where you need the magic powder, so this is why he has to turn in the mushroom to get the powder eventually.
Darn shame, because it's a really useful item from what I've heard for clipping and getting over pits.
Yeah, it is, and it's very sad that you have to make the mushroom go away. But, like, maybe there will be a skip found, hopefully someday, whatever, to not have to get the powder. That would be pretty neat.
Right, we should also take the time to mention that we said Bow Wow was Madame Meow Meow's pet. That is literally Bow Wow from the Mario series. There's a lot of crossover stuff in this game, believe it or not. Later on, you'll see Kirby. Luigi's somewhere in here. We won't see him, unfortunately. You'll see plenty of Goombas. And Piranha Plants? Yeah, we'll see Piranha Plants.
For a little bit. If we're slow enough.
There's our Eldritch God. And coming up, we're going to have a trick called Flat Clip. Do you want to explain that one?
Yeah, like, shoutouts to Flock Dure, fellow speedrunner who found lots of tricks for this game, and one of this is flock clipping. Turns out if you wall clipped, again, wall clipping being the major game breaker, like, he's clipped to the left there, and he squeezes into that stone, making a text box appear saying, oh, this stone is too heavy to lift. And while that text box is appearing, the game pushes you a little bit to the left, and that actually makes you stand enough to the left there so you can squeeze through the two tiles that are, like, arranged diagonally there.
If I recall, it pushes you forward and right like a pixel, right?
That's right, and that makes you stand enough into between these objects so you can actually get through here. Getting really bad RNG with Bow Wow here, like, he really took his time until he eats that flower.
And he ate too. But it doesn't matter, he gets Piece of Power in the first room, and as we said, now he's faster, he is stronger, and he gets knocked back.
Yeah, right hand way wants it. Also using some rather new strats where you use the bow here and skip the small key in that one room with the pits there. He's gonna, like, pick out another small key here. So the pretty cool thing with Dungeon 2 is that we have also had, like, quite a few reroutings and other strats being found since I started speedrunning the game. So that, yeah, and he's also not going to use his sword, so he's going to use a bow here to quick kill that mini boss again, 2 arrows, and he's gone.
The bow really is overpowered in the game.
Yeah, especially with the first few mini bosses, it turns out they didn't think that you could actually have the bow here.
No, they didn't expect you to get the bow until, like, what, D6?
D6, I guess, yeah.
Oh, that's new. I didn't see that way to get rid of the ghost before.
Yeah, it's like an old strat for 100%. Or like for any percent where for no whoop where you're allowed to save and quit. And then where he picks up the second key here. So, like, what I wanted to say with that is, like, there's still lots to optimize because, like, our rule set allows so much stuff to do. There's always new tricks being found. There always have been new tricks being found since I started speedrunning this game. So I'm excited to see what's lying ahead of us with this category.
I mean, Sàgaz himself has rerouted part of this later on to make things more efficient in terms of how he finished dungeons. But coming up, he's going to be fighting Genie, who has, in my opinion, one of the best fights if you've hated him casually.
Yeah, like, it's just a really long fight casually, and again, we abuse wall clipping to make this boss really, really easy. We're gonna clip into the top left wall here. You can see that after he quick picks up the bottle, it's gonna throw the bottle into the wall, makes the bottle break instantly. He drops a bomb that boosts the Genie to the lower part here. And
he missed.
Proposed, yeah, this bomb was a little far to the right, I guess. You're supposed to kill the Genie right next to the door, so the heart container spawns right next to the door. and he had to use another bomb arrow, so it's no biggie. He lost a bomb and an arrow there, so he's gonna probably pick up some bombs and arrows later, but that's a pretty neat quick kill.
On that subject as well, an intentional thing that they added into this game was the fact that if you can shoot a bomb and the arrow within, like, what, isn't it 2-3 frames?
I think it's 7, actually.
It's 7
I
frames?
heard it's 7 frames, yeah.
You will fire a bomb arrow a la Twilight Princess, exploding it on contact, which is very nice and useful, because you don't have to wait until the bomb goes off for certain spots. You could just shoot it and it'll explode on contact.
Yeah, there's no way to increment the bomb explosion time like in the Minish Cap like we saw yesterday evening. Or like yesterday afternoon for you guys.
I think everybody's got time zone difference, so yesterday at some point in time.
Yeah. Yeah, he was able to skip the thing we call hard piece of shame, which is like that hard piece lying around on the grass there between those pits, and you don't want to pick it up because it loses 3 seconds to animation there.
So right here we have a trick called Flock Clip, which he got, not Flock Clip, Villa Skip, which is first try.
Yeah.
Essentially what happens is, like we were saying earlier, you don't immediately fall into a pit, and if you pause on the frame that you fall into a pit, you can buffer a movement down, which will push you down to the bottom of the screen below you, right?
Yeah, like the dropping into the pit animation, which we heard the sound once he started pause buffering there. That animation when you drop into the pit also pushes you down 1 pixel for whatever reason. And he also clipped into that keyhole there from the top because like hitboxes are really really broad in this game.
you don't need to hit anything from the front. It's
yeah.
I think the only key that we actually hit in the front is D4 because we don't really have an option.
Yeah, it's like because it's water around it, but like again, wall clipping being the major game breaker in this category. And yeah, like basically Willa Skip is like uses the same technique we can also replicate with using the mushroom hover. It's just like an animation that pushes you down a few pixels so you're not standing over the pit anymore, but sort of inside of your menu bar at the bottom, and that lets you screen transition while standing over the pit, so it's a pretty neat time save. Also pretty cool and precise super jump though with the dongos.
Yeah, we call that dong skip, and it's kind of rough for people new to learn, but once you get it and you get the rhythm, it's really nice looking, and it allows you to skip a large portion of this dungeon.
Indeed, like shoutouts to Space Otter or Spice Father or whatever you want to call him. He found
Space
that boost.
Otter or Spice Otter.
Yeah, I think Space Otter is the most common. So like we already knew super jumping and we already had people looking into that skip, but nobody like was able to get it done, and Space Otter found like that pretty consistent setup, and it's like pretty cool trick. It saved like 30 seconds or something compared to our old route we got through Dungeon Free.
Yeah, and something that I had definitely had trouble with when I was learning is if you're jumping over large distances with the boots and feather, you will actually jump further, or you'll keep your momentum rather, if you aren't holding any directions while you're dashing when you jump. Right?
In underground sections?
Yeah.
Yeah, in underground sections it's pretty tricky. Like the physics with the boots and the feather is a little different. You saw him like doing a long jump there, where you were supposed to dash into the thumb at the top there. But like with some precise inputs, you have to like pre-buffer your dash and then hold right throughout the jump there. So like Link gets pushed up a little bit on top of that platform where he was supposed to go. So, like,
he didn't
it's
get
pretty finicky.
He didn't get the L skip.
He was trying to do something we call bomb event triggers, or just bomb triggers, or just BTs. Yeah, the game is pretty broken when it comes to bombs. And he could have been able to skip that flying in and out animation of the owl, but he got bad subpixels, so he had to go.
We'll see a better example of a bomb trigger later on. That's required to complete the run, actually.
Yeah, since we're gonna skip the ocarina, the flute entirely, we're greatly relying on bomb triggers to trigger certain events throughout the game.
Bombs are just as useful as magical instruments as well.
Yeah,
and they play the same notes. They're in the same pitch.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, do we have time to talk about donations?
Oh yeah.
All right, cool. So we have a $60 donation from Caratorial. The comment says, "A charity run with only Zelda games. Yes, please." Thank you so much. And coming up, we have a couple goals that y'all can work for. For Ocarina of Time 3D, we have a glitch exhibition that's at 75 right now, and getting it to 200 would unlock the goal. So bid for that if you want to see that happen. For The Legend of Zelda, both quests 90%, you can bid for the file name for that. And we also have another incentive to do a Ocarina of Time 90% race between Torridge and Richard Sage. That's at $117 right now, and it needs to get up to 500 to get met. So get your bids in for that if you want to see those.
Oh, he got the acorn. So something that at least I've seen is very odd whenever we've been running this is Sàgaz changed the route that he does to do D6 instead of D4 next, because really you already have the items you need to finish D6 after you finish D3, and he's gonna use what we call Jesus jumps in order to get over without the flippers.
That should be working here. Okay, nice. So yeah, like it's for you guys, most of you probably know A Link to the Past and the thing which is called fake flippers here. So in this game it's kind of the same. The game also doesn't check like when you're screen transitioning on the last frame possible before the screen transition, like the game sort of thinks you're already standing in water or on water, and after the screen transition it sort of boosts you into that little island, so that way he's able to transition to that little island, which leads to Dungeon 6. And oh, that's a neat strat with a bomb there. I didn't ever think about that. I'm gonna steal that.
Oh yeah. So you guys will notice as he went into the dungeon, something very weird happened. It looks like Bow Wow ate an enemy and he was able to walk off screen when the shrine was supposed to be coming up. When we said that Bow Wow is an eldritch god, or at least as I call him an eldritch god, he can eat cutscenes. Because I want to say that cutscenes are rendered as an entity on screen,
right?
And if you use a bomb close enough to triggering one of them, it makes that entity edible by Bow Wow, right?
Yeah, we sort of use different techniques to lead Bow Wow's attention to the cutscene. You can shoot like an arrow or a bomb arrow into like the direction of the entity, and that sort of pulls Bow Wow's aggro onto the cutscene, and he's eating it because like he thinks it's an enemy.
So that allows us to skip things like D6 opening up, D7 opening up.
Yeah. For D4, not yet though, because like the entity of the cutscene for the cutscene animation with the dungeon opening is a little too far away.
Yeah, we do it.
And again, wall clipping and super jumping being like a really major game breaker here, because that way we can just jump onto that higher level here, move up here. Actually, this is developer intended that you throw that pot to open that chest. It's like a little puzzle. Oh, he's doing... Oh, nice. That's a pretty precise trick there. Shoutouts to Black SR. He found like that skip here.
Oh, he gets the really hard super jump in the first try. That one's actually really precise.
Yeah.
And you have like, what, 1 pixel in order to get it?
It's a 3 pixel window. It's a 3 pixel vertical window, yeah. And it's very precise, and if you screw it up, you're soft locked, so that would have costed him a lot of time.
So here like, are the... No, go ahead.
Yeah, the horse heads, they're kind of obnoxious.
The best part of the run.
Yeah, like each head, when you throw it, has a 50% chance to stand up, and you can see sometimes you get it first try, sometimes you get it like 7th try or what it was. But he had a really good run throughout Dungeon 6 so far. Again, using the floor clip, he has no small key, but again, using the thing we call floor clipping to use the text box to get pushed through between those two tiles here. So really, a lot of technical stuff going on in this dungeon.
A lot of stuff happens really fast in this game, and it's kind of hard to keep up with it at times. But when you slow down and you actually go through and you learn how to do it, it gets a lot easier with practice and time. We have Facade here, the best boss, which is only able to be damaged by bombs. God, I hate him. And many people don't know, but you can damage him before he actually appears because his hitbox is still on screen as he opens up the first time. So you could drop 3 bombs and get in some quick damage on him. And there's D6 done, which means later on we'll be able to finish D4 in one shot. And because later on, after you finish D4, a ghost appears to prevent you from going into other dungeons and basically complete the side quest where you want to go do a bunch of stuff. We skip that because the trigger for that is the trigger to skip that is having level 2 bracelet.
Right.
So now he's just free to do whatever he pleases, which is not skipping this owl and getting ready to do what when I first saw it, I was in awe. When he first did it, is Jesus jumping back all the way over to get back to land.
Yeah. So the good thing about Link's Awakening DX is that you can pause buffer frame perfect to always hit the frame where you would be, like the frame before you would drop into water. And you can recognize that from the little splash animation below Link. You can also hear a sound if I probably would shut up. Oh, frame perfect Jesus jump there, that's pretty good. The bad thing is if you're buffering too late, if you're pressing the start button too late, you're gonna drop into water and you have to start again from the part of the screen where you entered. Also turns out you can screen transition while Jesus jumping to the left, to the right, and to the bottom. Not up though, that's working not because like you can't get pushed up doing Jesus jumps.
And up here, we're gonna have a trick we call walrus skip. Basically, we're gonna use those bomb triggers that we had in order to wake up the walrus that we normally need to bring Marin all the way over from Mob Village to get to sing to him. Because, like I said, bombs, they're useful.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, we actually dabbled into earlier versions of the walrus script before there were bomb triggers known. There was like a really obnoxious way to despawn the walrus with a sprite overflow in the screen left of it. And yeah, shoutouts to I think it was Green Tunic and I'm sorry, I forgot about the other guy. I guess it was also Flock. I think it was Flockture as well. I remember Green Tunic was part of it. They were just like randomly going through screens and throwing bombs or laying bombs, dropping bombs, throwing them around, and that way, accidentally they found there was this thing called bomb triggers. So if you're dropping bombs while being in a screen transition, you're sort of dropping 2 bombs in one screen, or like while being in a screen transition, and that sort of makes the game freak out and makes it play cutscenes. Because this game is obviously quite weirdly programmed.
Very magnificent masterpiece of coding, this game. In addition, while you're doing the walrus skip, because we have Bow Wow, there is a significant chance that we soft lock if he didn't go back off the screen and back over, because the little rabbit comes on, and I don't know. I personally don't know what causes it. But
yeah,
it'll lock you in place, if I recall.
Yeah, the problem is the cutscene usually goes like you pick up Marin at the beach after Dungeon 3. You go with her to the walrus, and she's singing the tune to the walrus, which we just heard before. And after Marin finished her song, the walrus drops into the water, and after that there's the cutscene continuing where a bunny gets into the screen, and where Marin responds to the bunny coming into the screen. Problem is, Marin's not there. So because she's not like on the screen, her text box isn't appearing or like not going away, and that makes you freeze into that screen. For whatever reason, Bao Bao's presence makes you soft lock there. It's really weird, and actually I don't think anyone can explain why it happens. It's like with a lot of these tricks, you just like try stuff and it happens, but you rarely can explain why it happens, you know?
It's the magic of the game.
Yeah.
So we just saw Sàgaz opening up D4 over there. And now he's going to go up through Telltale Heights in order to get there. And he's going to clear that dungeon in one go, as opposed to the previous route, the one that I learned when I was first starting, which was finishing D4 in 2 parts, which was getting the flippers, finishing D5 and D6, going back, finishing D4, and then going up to do D7 and 8. Very, very obtuse now that we know about this.
Yeah, let's see. We actually overlooked that he got like a very important trick in the game, which is called obstacle skip.
You know, it's sort of like the validation chest in Link's Awakening. If you don't get it, then, well, what worth is your run? It's not going to be verified. Nothing. You've done nothing right if you didn't get obstacle skip.
Yeah, it's a big meme inside the community that you have to get that trick. And yeah, again, a wall clipping making it a little easier to get that tricky jump here to skip a really large portion of the dungeon here. Just do a sideways dash jump to get over here. And we're gonna use, again, the Jesus jumps to go through that screen transition. And that way we can skip the mini-boss.
This oddball. We'll see enough of him later.
Yeah. And there we go, he gets the flippers. And he did that because like just it's a little better routing wise to do Dungeon 6 before Dungeon 4. And
it's more efficient, like I was saying earlier.
Yeah. Like again, the Dungeon 6 bracelet, the level 2 bracelet makes that weird cutscene where the ghost disappear and go away. And pretty cool setup there for the super jump. That's a really advanced technique, advanced use of our super jumps to get like boosted from that P head into the left wall. And shoutouts to our boy Cribone,
who died at Fish. We will never forget you. Also, don't ever forget you can't hook shot down. Really, a lot of the stuff that you can this game is really cool when you execute it perfectly, and that's part of the appeal that it has for me. Is I saw back in the tournament when they were running it, all of these amazing tricks, and it just floored me when I first saw it. And I was like, I want to learn that. Let me see if I could get good at that. And
yes, Sàgaz makes it look really easy. I can assure you it is not, though. A lot of these tricks are really rather hard, and you know, it's a Game Boy game. It looks cute and fun and everything, but yeah,
it'll eat you alive.
Yeah, it takes really practice to.
This is like daily practice from him as well.
Definitely, like Sàgaz is one of our prodigies in LDX, you could say. I think like his first PB got submitted like maybe 8 or 9 months ago. And since then, he just went through the roof with his PBs and also with his improvements and with his submission sort of to the community, to the speed game. It's amazing. Like, he's a really dedicated speedrunner.
I mean, what's he at now? Like, low mid-50s?
Yeah, his PB in this category currently is a 53:20 something, I guess.
And
also, towards the question in chat, 3DS Virtual Console version is allowed, but it's gonna be slower because I think it's the 1.2 version of the game, and in the 1.2 version there are a few bugs being fixed. So we play the Japanese 1.0 version. Japanese mostly because it's shorter text boxes, and it lets us, it allows us to skip some text boxes which can't be skipped in the English version, in the US version.
See those annoying little kids when you have to go find Bow Wow?
Yeah. And yeah, these enemies are really annoying, the little Helmosaurs, and once they want to screw with you, they just screw with you.
Yeah, you have to be facing their back. The way their back is facing, I believe, is it? In order to damage them?
Right, yeah. The yellow, not the yellow, the pink parts, like their faces, so to speak, they have to look into your direction so you can hit them. So you have to face the same direction there.
Too quick. Bomb arrows and a bomb takes down the first part of Master Stalfos. And now we're on our way to go fight the second part, who will go down with, I want to say 3 bombs?
Nah, it's 3, 2, 2, 3.
Right.
For the Master Stalfos.
There's setups for all 4 of these fights to make it as easy as possible.
Yeah, number 2 and 3 are the same. You get into the room, you drop a bomb, and you throw that on the right frame, like at the right time. Not the right frame, it's not frame perfect, but on the right time. Most of us are using a musical cue there, just to showcase that really quickly. I don't know if it's gonna be in sync. So just like go with da-lum, throw. And you know, like, it's pretty cool that you can use musical cues in that game to like get the same outcome of a fight every time. I really like that into Link's Awakening. And he's gonna perform something we call a naked super jump here. Basically also abusing the super jump technique, but in most cases you are supposed to... Oh, that's unfortunate, he lost his piece of power. But no biggie. You should be able to finish the dungeon either way. Yeah, so like, he didn't have to use the sword or arrow or fire rod to, yeah, easy every time, even without the piece of power. Nice job there. I gotta interrupt really quickly here because like this jump is not developer intended. You're supposed to have the hook shot here to oh, that's an interesting strat there. I thought he was going for the backup part.
So did I. Like safety? Really? You have like full health. I'm pretty sure Wall Snake is not gonna be that bad.
We're gonna make fun of him later for that. No, but yeah, on another note, you're supposed to have the hook shot here, but just routing wise, it's fast to do a precise jump with the boots and the feather here. I think it's like a 2 pixel window where you have to jump off, so it's like a 2 frame window where you have to jump off to make that jump over these 4 pits in a row. Obviously you were only developer intended to be able to jump over 3 pits in a row, but with a precise timing you can also jump over 4 pits in a row, and we use that to get the big key a little earlier, because this is where we get the hook shot Master Stalfos fight number 4. Gonna use 3 bomb arrows and then he's gone.
Done. And it would be a lot of backtracking to have to come get the hook shot, go back up there, get the key, then go back halfway in order to get to the room where you go to the boss.
Yeah, like even in a speed run, this dungeon is rather long. If you get really good time, it's like 5 minutes and 20 seconds. I can't imagine how long it would take if you're playing it like the developer intended way. It's a rather long dungeon.
Yeah, I am agreeing with Corin here in chat. Yeah, put the sword back on, man.
Yeah.
What you're doing is an abomination.
There's a big dispute in our community whether the sword should be on A or on B.
Well, I mean, it's not a dispute if one side is obviously wrong.
You're right about that. But yeah, we had a few speedrunners who actually used to have sword on B. They like started the game and immediately did put the shield on A, so the sword appears on B. But yeah, do whatever you like as long as it's quick. Another precise jump there over 3 tiles and then a little to the left, and yeah, just like that. We're at the boss Wall Snake, yeah.
A lot of people really dislike this boss for a very good reason.
Yeah, like, but he has a rather, especially in No Scoop. In Hundo it's a little different, but in No Scoop we have a really consistent setup here. So where he's standing, he can access every entrance within like a reasonable amount of time to pull him out 2 times, get in 4 hits, or maybe even 5 hits if you get good RNG, and he's gone like that.
What boss a way to hit? Really, the one thing that you really want to avoid with this is you don't want Piece of Power when you come into this fight, because it causes knockback, and that makes you get less hits in whenever you pull him out.
It increases the boss's iframe in every hit, so it's something you want to get rid of before, and like accidentally I think he picked up another piece of power in Dungeon 5 because he lost his piece of power earlier. So that was a little messy, but that's just what D5 can do to you. Like, most of the speedrunners in our community don't like D5 because it has lots of enemy movement RNG and is unpredictable in many ways. I don't know how Sàgaz is when it comes to what Sàgaz' point is towards D5, but I guess after this speedrun he will also be like D5 man.
It's terrible. Why'd I pick up that second piece of power? So now we're gonna head up to Telltale Heights, and we're not gonna come down for a while.
Yeah, this is also another advantage with the skip we were talking about earlier, the level 2 bracelet makes that cutscene go away. Back in the day, we were like finishing the dungeons in the intended order.
Except for going back for D4.
Yeah, and we like when I started speedrunning this game, D4, the second half of D4, we only did get the flippers, and then we got gotten to D4 another time. We did like the second part of D4 as the last dungeon before the Windfish Egg to simply avoid the ghost cutscene, and like since then there has been so much rerouting, so much new stuff being found, and there's a constant progression in speedrunning this game. So once again, I'm really excited to see what's gonna lie ahead of us. And another obstacle skip.
And his run is validated. Well, almost validated. There's one more thing he has to do before he's truly validated. But before we get to that, we have the bane of this run. Oh yeah. Sweet, sweet rooster skip. So in order to get the key that's up here in the corner of this room, you should have the flying rooster. We don't have the time to go get the ocarina and then pay 300 rupees to go get that song. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the fact that we can just barely stay on pits without falling, and we're going to jump across using the hookshot. Because the frame before the hookshot comes back into you, you're allowed to jump one more time, right? Yeah.
You got exactly one frame. And that was perfect first try unbuffered, so that was like really the best way you can go there. So that's a really, really hard trick. Double frame perfect inputs here, and Sàgaz just nailed that.
He was actually really worried about that.
Oh yeah, every runner is, especially in a marathon context. Like our boy Zorlak7, he was an old world record holder. He was like always buffering it in marathon runs because he was like really frightened of that trick. And like I cannot overstate it's a double frame perfect trick, and if you don't get it, you use 30 seconds per attempt because you're getting washed up down to the bottom of the mountain again. You have to go all up there again. It's really annoying, and
it's a lot easier if you buffer it, but there's still the matter of positioning, and if something goes wrong, Bow Wow can get in your way.
Yeah,
eat your hook shot, which is why we both love and hate him. And it'll just cause you to fall down. Things will just happen. It's very, very finicky. And there's another cutscene. We don't have to see the tower turn around. And bam! Hey, look, there's a staircase. Where did this come from?
Yeah, like actually he messed it up, but accidentally got it right eventually. So like usually you're supposed to throw that rock onto the keyhole in a certain way, in a certain timing. So again, Bow Wow's aggro is like pointed towards that keyhole.
Hello, Kirby. Goodbye, Kirby.
Yeah, little appearance of Kirby there.
All right, so another really good. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, again, bomb triggers are used to trigger these events, which are usually triggered by the ball you have to pick up and throw against them. But yeah, once again, bombs being a major game breaker in the speedrun.
The most convoluted dungeon in the game, just gone, just like that.
Definitely. Getting really good bomb triggers here. There are several ways to activate the bomb triggers. You can drop bombs between screen transitions, like we saw. He did this 4 times. You can also really quickly drop bombs into the pit within 4 frames. That will also count as 2 bombs being on the same screen at a time. So, like, again, this game is really weird.
And you'll notice that he's going up to the upper floors without the boss key. We don't actually need the boss key to finish this dungeon, because we could just skip right over it with one of 2 ways. The first way, which is what Sàgaz is doing right now, is he's going to be going for something we call a Goomba Surf, which is a naked super jump onto a Goomba, who will then bounce him up to the platform above in a very, very nice looking trick. When it happens.
Yeah, the top Goomba has to move to the right, and he messed it up a little. That's unfortunate.
The other way to do it is a lot safer. If you go a room left and up.
There we go.
There's
beautiful.
If you go to the room left and up, there's a P-hat that you can super jump, bonk off of, get on top of some switch blocks, and then walk around to get to the room behind the boss key.
The thing, that's like a little easier, but if you get good Goomba RNG, you can save like 10 seconds. He got bad Goomba RNG, but anyway, we shouldn't be too much slower than the other strat Phantom was talking about. Again, with Goombas, let's talk about the boss quickly since we're at the boss fight. So, usually you're supposed to get the level 2 shield and fight him on top of the platform. Turns out if you're staying below the platform, the eagle is always flying in from the left or from the right and trying to push you off the ladder. And we're gonna abuse that and time free bombs in a certain manner to just make him go away like that. So that's the Dungeon 7 boss. Easy peasy.
Once again, what boss?
Yeah, it's really ridiculous how easy quick kill strats there are for all the bosses and the mini bosses in this game. Like, the developers actually didn't put much thought into alternate strats like we do with the bombs here, and I think it's actually pretty cool because, like, if you know this game from a casual playthrough, you're actually blown away from how quick the kills can be done there with the bosses.
Yeah, as Sàgaz was falling down that pit, he buffered a save and quit in order to gain movement back, which allowed him to move down and not fall all the way back down to below Telltale Heights, which means he could just walk left here and start heading back up towards Turtle Rock.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you buffer the save and quit menu out of the screen transition, you can, like, sort of get a downwards boost or something.
And now... Hi, Marin!
Yeah.
We really want to save you, we really do, but we have something to go do. I think we should see other people.
Bye. Yeah, it's like if you pick her up, if you save her from the mountain, then I was saying pick her up. I not mean like picking her up if you like save her from the mountain there. There's a long cutscene played and it's like 40 seconds, so you don't want to do that. Just stay low in that room and the trigger for saving her isn't being activated.
Aw, he didn't let the little mini Moldorm live to get the... Alright, so why does this happen again?
What?
The whole
what do you mean?
out of the sprites on Cabbage Hill?
You mean Bow Wow?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I really can't tell though. I guess it's like sort of a sprite overflow, and obviously you were never supposed to have Bow Wow on these screens, so I guess it was actually also never tested what happens in these screens if you have Bow Wow with you.
We might want to go back and say that you don't actually need level 2 shield, because if you clip into the wall and you just run as fast as you possibly can pushing through, you could skip past the only required point where you need level 2 shield.
Yeah. And just like that, we're into Dungeon 8 because the mini-boss fight before the dungeon, the head doesn't have a hitbox, so you just go through it.
We use bomb triggers to wake it up, just like we did with the Walrus. And this is a new method of doing D8 that I'm not used to. Essentially what's going to happen is he's going to super jump up here, and then he's going to use a very precise hook shot to flat clip. And is it a flat clip or is it a super jump?
It's like sort of a mixture there. Like, again, you'd have to line up pixel perfectly, or like it's a 2-pixel window, I guess, I'm sorry. And you like sort of use a mechanic where you use the hook shot and the feather on the same frame. It's also important that the feather is on A and the hookshot on B, because for reasons. And that sort of makes you hookshot across things, but also kind of puts you on a higher layer, because you're jumping down the ledge at the same time. It's really, really technical. And yeah. Let's just focus on the further things coming here.
Yeah, so right here he's gonna do the same thing that we were doing earlier, except that now he's gonna be swimming in lava. Because I guess it's the same thing as the super swim that we were doing earlier.
Yeah. No, it's not super swimming. It's Jesus jumping, I guess. Super swimming is a out of bounds trick, which is banned in this game.
Right.
No, like it's the same thing, but with Jesus jumping, the game doesn't check after the screen transition whether you are in water or in lava. Yeah. So that way you can swim in lava.
Lava.
In the lava.
So there we saw and summarily did not see the mini boss of D4 and D8. Oddball.
Is it called
what mini
oddball
boss?
or cue ball?
Cue ball? I think it's cue ball. I might be getting that wrong.
Yeah, like, we skipped him in Dungeon 4 with that Jesus jump.
We don't really need to see him in D4. It's fine. He falls down both ways easy enough.
Yeah,
And-
collecting some more final arrows, and again using Jesus jump / fake flipper here to get boosted. Like, it's the same thing as the mushroom hover thing. Get boosted 1 pixel into the wall below, so you're clipped into the wall, and you use that to do a super jump to again skip a long part of the dungeon.
Really, we don't see any of D8. If you
Yeah,
think
really.
about it. There were rooms
D8
that I
is such a
never saw.
big dungeon, such a huge dungeon, and with super jumps and what have you, you just like skip over the annoying parts and make this dungeon being like 3 minutes long if you play it perfectly.
Is it valid?
It is
And he is
Nice.
validated. He has the
Nice.
trick Wang, boys.
Yeah, well, let's see. I think we are connected to FFC. Oh no, we're not.
I mean,
But
this is totally a PG stream. You guys didn't see anything. And now we're off to go to the egg. God, already?
yeah. Like, what is the time here? Oh yeah, it was a sub 50 D8. That's pretty good.
And he got the Guardian Acorn.
Nice.
The run had to just show him up at least once.
Yeah, for those being not familiar, the Guardian Acorn spawns every time after you kill 12 enemies, and 12 enemies consecutively and didn't get hit. So if you want to avoid the acorn, because the picking up animation wastes 2 seconds, so you want to get hit every now and then just to make sure not to pick up this useless power-up, because it only increases your defense, and we don't need that.
So, Bamboo, what's your favorite musical instrument?
I'd say the triangle.
Are you sure it's not the bomb flute?
Maybe also the bomb flute, yeah. But I heard it's customary to shush during the Windfish ballad. Beautiful.
It's no Tall Heights, but it's a very good song.
Oh yeah. This is my alarm sound to get up for work. Nice.
Alright, so now we're headed into the egg, and most people who play this casually will know that you have to go through this whole side thing of trading sequence in order to get a magnifying glass, to read a book, to figure out what the path in the egg is. But little did you know that if you never look at that book, the path is always the same. It's left, left, up, right, right, up, left, up. And then it's good.
Yeah, and he's also gonna mash bombs while dropping down here. So he's mashing bombs within 4 frames, and that's gonna activate the last bomb trigger here, which just makes the text boxes go away, because it's also like sort of like a cutscene or whatever. It's gonna line up here to get a quick kill on the blob, and yeah, it's good RNG. Nice.
Ooh.
That way, you would sort of make the blob getting stuck there, and since he's like in a wall, he's taking damage for whatever reason.
We must also say that doing the cutscene skip, not the cutscene skip, the text skip, takes away the music for the first part of, well, a majority of this section, which really sucks.
Yeah.
But what can you do? It's all in the name of going fast. So
yeah.
let's explain Aghanim before he gets blue-balled.
Yeah. So first, for 2 balls are guaranteed energy balls, which are reflectable. And after that, it's 50-50 whether you can shoot a round ball or blue ball. He's actually stealing my superstition setup there, so...
Yeah.
Got one
I
blue
started
ball so
doing
far.
that as well, by the way.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it's like, sometimes it's working, sometimes not. Like, it's depending.
He's getting the wrong pixels.
Yeah, it's like 50-50
All
chance.
the wrong pixels. That's 3 blue
Yeah.
balls in a row.
Yeah, like it's a 50-50 chance depending on like Link's horizontal position.
So
And like there are some cues, but it's still like depending on weird shenanigans whether it's gonna be a round or blue ball. So he got 3 blue balls. It's 24-second time loss. Not too bad for a marathon run.
yeah, there's a lot more to talk about that, but
Yeah,
really, real
Moldorm,
quick,
we can stun lock him here with a spin slash and then just slash like 12 times or something.
yeah.
Ganon
Now-
also just dash into him 12 times and then he's gone like that.
And now we're on to Deathel, the best boss. Oh,
Yeah,
after of
awesome.
course killing.
Landmola, yeah,
Landmola.
he's not even there.
There we go. So now we take out the bow because it takes what, 17, 18 shots to kill.
It's 16
16
arrows.
shots to kill Deathel. So we can only hit him while his eyes open. The max you can get in is 5, I think I've seen.
Yeah, task can enter 5 arrows per cycle, but it's pretty tight. So like RTA, 4 arrows are good enough. You want to have a quad, so 4 times 4 arrows. He messed up a little there, but shouldn't be too bad. He misses only 1 arrow left, and let's hope that will open.
Deathel's giving him lumps.
Yeah, and it's really totally RNG. There's no way in RTA to manipulate when he's opening his eye and when not. And yeah,
And
good job,
he's got
Sàgaz. That was a pretty good run. Like barely sub 55, I guess. Yeah, that's a
very
pretty
good
good
for a
marathon run.
marathon.
Like
No, go ahead.
if we're looking at the speedrun.com leaderboards, I think this is like rank number 10 or something. So that's pretty good for a
I think
marathon
we should
run.
have mentioned done.
Oh yeah, time. Sorry.
It was done on the stairs, so it's like 6 seconds less.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been a while since it's been a while since I last ran LADX. So.
yeah, it's good.
No problem.
So, what did he get? Out of curiosity, it's
RN says 55:03, but then it wasn't on the stairs, and then it started 6 seconds late because of the delay. So it's like at 55, I don't know, 49 or something.
Yeah,
54, 49, rather.
that's very
Yeah.
good actually.
That's pretty good for a marathon run, indeed.
Corin saying 54:46. He might be timing it on his end,
Yeah.
but hey, sub 55. That's not bad at all.
No, that was a pretty good run. Like the precise strats like Goomba Surf can be messed up, but like really the precise super jumps in D6, the quick hits, everything done pretty well.
Yeah.
So shoutouts to our boy Sàgaz,
He did excellent. Showed us good.
one of
right.
our baguettes.
All right, so he has one more thing to show us actually,
Oh yeah.
which is unfortunately it's not. It's a little bit different from what it says on the donation thing. So what he's going to be doing is he's going to be getting Boomerang as quickly as possible, which, like I said, you have to go through this entire trading sequence in order to get the magnifying glass to see the person who has the Boomerang, and then you can trade an item to them. But as I said very far back ago in the beginning of this run, that you would see some of the major glitches in this game that we can use to abuse, break, bend over our knee, and slam, like a la Bane against Batman, to just horribly maim this game. So I guess that's on you, Sàgaz.
Yeah. So basically, it's just a run that you have to take the boomerang as fast as possible. using all the glitch that you can use to the game for that. So yeah.
Yeah, again, we didn't see that in the recent category, any percent no scoop, because just picking up the boomerang is too much of a detour. It would be useful in some rooms. It would kill some enemies quicker, some bosses quicker, especially the last boss, Devil. You can one-shot him with a boomerang, but it's just unfortunately too much of a detour. Like, if you know the boomerang from most other Zelda games, it's a rather useless item, but in this, probably in LA and LEDX, the boomerang is the most overpowered item you can imagine.
Unfortunately, it's locked behind this massive trading sequence that pretty much guarantees that you won't get it until the end of the game.
Yeah, we can use glitches to skip most of the trading sequence, and yeah, that's also what we're doing in the 100% category of this game, because in 100% it's mandatory to pick up the boomerang, so you complete like the 100% collection quest, you know. You have to get it to like fulfill the 100% thingy for 100% runs, obviously. So yeah, picking up the boomerang is mandatory to do the glitch that Sàgaz is going to show us. So I think you got like maybe some save states prepared for that.
I think it's a save state. I think it just starts a new file. So
I don't know.
Whenever you're ready, Sàgaz.
Okay, did I reset or did I let the credits?
That's an excellent question.
Whatever you feel like. I think we could ask Jet here whether they want to see the credits.
Yeah.
Oh, right. We should also mention this game runs at 60, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Stream captures at 30, which is why you see that.
Oh, but I think the one that I'm streaming in 60 is probably the one that I 30.
Yeah. I just mean normally, like when I stream, I'm capturing at 30, but the game runs in 60, so you'll see the text going in and out and in and out because.
Right. On Sàgaz's end, it's okay, but like the restream is a 30 frames capture for convenience reasons, I guess. And so that's why like the outro text is a little messed up there.
Yeah.
Are we having sound, by the way?
No,
I think we stopped.
because I'm on.
Right, because he has his mic
God.
off.
Right, yeah.
I will mute again and take some.
No, yeah.
All right, so let's see what you got with this boomerang, shall we?
I need a countdown, like the countdown that I have
The one
for the
before.
beginning of this run. I need the same.
You ready, ZSR?
Yeah.
All right. So,
Gonna put sound and.
Okay.
See you
Oh,
later.
so you need to be typed to count down.
yeah, because he's got to mute himself again.
Okay. So one of y'all can do it audibly, and I'll do it typedly.
Yeah, once he gets back to the file select.
Okay.
Oh, so we've seen a boomerang percent run, right?
Yeah, that's
All right. I was thinking about the hookshot glitchy thing in D5, but I was mistaken. Sorry.
All
It's
right.
early for me.
It's early for you. It's early for you. You want to start with that?
No, let's not go there again.
All right. So I guess are you ready?
Yeah, Restream looks ready. I guess I'll give you the honors.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I hope he was ready.
Yeah, like
There
we
we
had
go.
a short delay there.
All right, so this thing is going to start out the same way as before. He's going to go over and he's going to get the sword after getting his shield. Man, these people look familiar. Didn't they
Yeah.
just all dissolve in like some sort of fever dream the giant whale is having?
Yeah, I guess now we're gonna see something called wrong warping. The infamous doghouse glitch.
Doghouse 7 is he called it, which means is it Doghouse 6 or 7?
I don't know what is used for the boomerang category, but yeah, like he also could have entered the doghouse right away. Like you have to walk into the doghouse from the top, and that also triggers like the trigger to enter the doghouse, but since you're entering it from the wrong direction, the game is freaking out and teleporting you to weird locations. And for whatever weird reason, the integer in the game, which remembers the amount of enemies you killed since you started the game, changes that location where you're getting teleported to. So that's why he's picking up the sword and he's gonna like kill a certain amount of enemies. We're gonna count along here. That's 1.
7 to be exact. I went back and I looked up what he told me.
All right, so that's already 5. Let's see which enemies he's gonna kill. That's 6.
I think he's gonna kill either. No, he's probably gonna kill. No, he's gonna kill this one and then he's gonna walk around.
So that's 7, and he's gonna bonk. Yeah, you don't want to kill that. Yeah. And with 7 enemies entering the doghouse from the top side, it's gonna teleport him to a certain direction in the game.
I think it really just explains itself. This doghouse 7.
It's like parts of Dungeon 2, but then there's parts of Dungeon 1, and the map is all glitched. And this was actually not an acorn, but is something. This is like a value that increases the trait sequence once every time he picks it up.
So you're gonna get like 50, I think it was either 14 or 15 of these.
Yeah, like it's Yoshi doll, and then the dog food, then the bow, then the bananas, then the stick, then the the honey thingy, then the
literally just everything in the trading
pineapple,
one
hibiscus.
after the other.
Yeah, the ladder and so on.
So essentially, welcome to LADX hell. This is what you get when you don't ban things in categories. this is flat any percent territory right here.
Yeah.
So now he's gonna go up to the shop. He's gonna steal some bombs, which he needs to get into the cave that has the guy who gives you the hook shot. And he's gonna steal the shovel because he doesn't want to give away anything else.
Yeah,
you can't give away things that have levels. Right?
No, the thing is, the shopkeeper only sells bombs once you already bought the shovel.
No, but I mean the Boomerang guy. He doesn't take anything that has levels.
Oh yeah, maybe also that. I think you can trade the shovel and maybe the shield. No, not the shield. I don't know. He takes like a few.
I think it's shovel, feather.
The feather. Wrong.
Yeah, I've traded the feather.
Never give away my feather, man.
Back when I was young and dumb, before I speedran this game, I gave away the feather.
Oh my god, the most precious item in this game.
I didn't know how special it was. But yeah, now he has everything they need to go very quickly get that boomerang. And he will have the most powerful item in the game without ever having to need to do anything.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, unless he needed to complete D3.
When is time for this?
Once he holds up the boomerang, I guess.
Oh, well.
Yeah, and he has it done. Time.
Oh, good question.
Zoom.
Right,
yeah, so...
Now, you can see him throwing around. He's happy. It's fine. For this, we have absolutely no idea. I don't know what the world record is.
Let me check here. Boomerang.
It's 404.
No. Oh yeah, it could be 404, but it's actually not on the leaderboards though.
Yeah, I don't think it's an official percent.
We got like some miscellaneous meme categories on our leaderboards.
Okay.
So
Shoutouts to Sàgaz, who also has the current world record in my favorite category, which is Fish the Pond.
Just catch every fish in the pond, you're good.
Yeah, I was like really most of my time world record holder for this category.
I think he cut you by like 2 seconds, was it?
Yeah, not even 2. It's like 1.2 seconds.
Something like this. That's very cool.
I'm gonna get that world record back, and if it's gonna be the last thing I do for this speed game.
So on behalf of these two rivals, on behalf of everybody else, this was Link's Awakening DX. If you enjoyed the game, we have a lovely Discord community who will be willing to help you out. It features such people as our lovely runner, Sàgaz14, Bamboo Shadow. I'm pretty much useless, but I'm there. Many others who are glad to help you out. Learn the randomizer for this game. Learn the different categories for this game.
Yeah, we just recently got a really cool randomizer in Link's Awakening DX. So if you're kind of tired, we can understand. If you're kind of tired of a Link to the Past randomizer, and we get that because it's all over speed gaming and what have you, you should try out a new randomizer maybe, and that's going to be the LEDX randomizer. It's really fun.
Learn
Yeah.
the beauty that is finishing multiple dungeons only having boots without being able to jump.
Oh yeah, it has pretty cool tricks in them.
Shoutouts to
And-
Cravone, I hate you.
Yeah, and shoutouts to Xaver and Spirister. Those guys were really putting a lot of effort in the randomizer, and also like it's a community product, and it's really cool to seeing it being developed even more. And yeah, so once again, shoutouts to Sàgaz. If you like the speedrun, you definitely should follow Sàgaz on Twitch. He's a really active LEDX speedrunner, and
Pretty
also
much
a
every
really fun
day,
guy.
this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. I would
And
like
I-
to thanks everyone for everything. The community, Bamboo, Phantom for the commentate, and
I would say
ZSR
anytime,
for
pal,
the
but it's 3:51 now.
marathon. So yeah.
Yeah, Phantom is going